Welcome back to the Dr. Jonette channel. Today I am making a recipe that is a great alternative to the boiled cabbage on St. Patrick's Day. If you're a boiled cabbage fan and a purist for how you like your cabbage with your corned beef, then boil the cabbage, which is great. But if you're like me and not necessarily a fan of boiled cabbage, I love sauteed cabbage with onions, and I am using today a little vegan butter instead of regular butter. You could use regular butter, but I like the vegan butter. So let's get cooking. And make some sauteed cabbage with onions. But before we get started, I want to give you my simple and smart tip. For my simplest smart tip, if you don't have a pair of glasses, which I do, and when you cut the onions up, they really bother your eyes, I have a solution for you. If you scroll down to the comments below, there's a link there that will take you out to where you can get yourself your own pair of what I call onion goggles. They've got foam around the goggles so that when you put them on your face, it seals out all of those onion fumes that then mix with the moisture in your eyes, resulting in a form of sulfuric acid. Actually, the acid irritates your eyes, makes them water, and that's why onions make you cry. So for our simplest smart tip, get yourself a pair of onion goggles. Onions generally don't bother my eyes that much, and this pair of glasses seems to work adequately for me, so I'm going to put them back on. To make ours, to start with, we're going to just chop up our cabbage and onions. You don't need to chop it up super fine. Fairly coarsely chopped is great. And I kind of start at one end and come towards the middle, and then go to flip it around and go back in the other way. Just watch your fingers when you're chopping. You know, no chopped fingers. If you chop your finger, then you're going to have to come see me in the ER. That last couple of pieces is usually the hardest. And I'm going to just measure up how much we've got here by putting it into our, we want about 6 cups of the chopped cabbage. That usually ends up like a small to medium head of cabbage. I just a guesstimate is I usually use like a half of a head of cabbage. And then do the same for your onions. Just chop them up real quick here. As you can see, I'm making fairly good sized slices with them. You don't want to dice them, you want to kind of slice them like that. And I usually do 1 to maybe sometimes 2 onions. We'll see how much we've got here. Split those apart as well. And I think I'm going to actually add 1 more onion. This is a sweet onion, and I love onions with my cabbage, so I've gone ahead and I've melted my butter here in a Dutch oven, and I'm now going to turn up the heat a little bit and add my onions and cabbage to it. It looks like a lot, but it cooks down fairly quickly. And while that is cooking, let's talk about our nutrition nugget for onions. Actually, cabbage as well, but more onions than cabbage. Onions provides an important component for our brain and our gut. It helps keep our gut healthy, which then helps keep that gut-brain connection healthy. Because remember, our gut makes a lot of our neurotransmitters. It makes about 30 different neurotransmitters. So if we keep our gut healthy, our body has the neurotransmitters, and our brain and our nervous systems have the neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters are those chemicals that our body uses that our body and our nerve cells use to communicate, not only among our different nerve cells within our brain, but also used to communicate, for our nerves to communicate with our muscles, with our organs of our body, with our blood vessels, and with our heart and lungs. Just all the different parts of our body all require neurotransmitters in order to communicate and in order to function. So our gut is, what keeps our gut healthy is our microbiome, which is a lot of bacteria in our gut, and it's our microbiome that produces a lot of those neurotransmitters. So we need to keep it healthy. We can keep it healthy by giving it what's called prebiotics. Our gut, the actual microbiomes are called, the bacteria are called probiotics, but the food that they need are the prebiotics. And we can provide that for them by the food that we eat. One of those foods that is really high in prebiotic properties is onions. Cabbage as well, but not as much as onions. And that is because onions provide what's called a resistant starch. And our microbes in our GI system need those resistant starches in order to stay healthy. Because if they aren't healthy, they actually can't keep us healthy. They're important also, not only for neurotransmitters, but also for a healthy immune system, and help make many of the chemicals that we need to fight off infections, viruses, bacteria that are harmful, etc. So adding onions to your diet and other prebiotic foods is so important to keeping your body and also your brain healthy. As you can see now, it's cooking down pretty good here. I'm going to let it cook a little bit more. You can see here that it's cooked down pretty good. It's starting to brown just a little bit. I don't like to let it get real brown. And I like my cabbage as well as my onions to still be a little bit crunchy. This is the point I usually add a little salt to it. Probably about a half a teaspoon of salt to it. And also a little pepper. Add it according to your taste. I actually think it also tastes fine without any additional salt. Just a little extra pepper, but whatever you like. Also, if you like your onions and cabbage to be nice and soft, then you'll want to turn the temperature down to like probably low or medium low, and just let it cook until it is the desired crispness or softness that you like. And that's it for this recipe. So thank you for watching, clicking that like button, and subscribing. Enjoy your sauteed cabbage and onions this St. Patrick's Day, and realize how healthy it is for your gut, for your body, and for keeping your brain healthy. For more brain healthy recipes, as well as this full recipe, go to my website at growwithdrjoannette.com and explore. I have a section there on neural health and all kinds of ideas and suggestions for how you can keep your brain healthy. My 6 pillars, I have my 6 pillars there for neural health. Also recipes that are brain healthy recipes. And my favorite way to get exercise. Exercise is important for our bodies to keep our brain and bodies healthy. My favorite way is spending time outdoors in the garden. That's how I grew up. I grew up living on a farm, spending my days outdoors in the gardens, in the fields, in the pasture, just running around with my 10 siblings. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Grow with Dr. Jonette.